my gosh. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I hope that you all are doing well. Swell. You had an amazing time, or you had a healing time, a relaxing time, a rejuvenating time around this time period, or just period, okay? If you don't know me, my name is Letiste Moon. Okay, I do readings on here, offer readings down below. Do with that information what you will. But with that being said, thank you so much for coming in and joining. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You already know your candle is lit and ready, baby, and prepared. I decided to do this reading. I love when I just get channel readings and I just allow it to come because sometimes I get like channel readings and I don't do it for months, or sometimes even years. And it just like it's late on. And today I felt that today. It's hilarious because we're going into the 10th year around the time that I'm filming this. And so it's kind of this energy. But I wanted to do because I always like to tell people look at the sign of what your parent is, right? If you can, if you have the capability, look at the sign of what your parent is, or even your guardian, just in that sense, right? But your parent, who your parents are, your mom and your dad, right? If you are able to. And what I mean by that is my dad is a Sag, my mom is a Libra, right? That is fire and air. When they come together, it creates a force and a dynamic that's why they say don't open doors when there's a fire, call the fire department. They have a way of doing it because they know as soon as it's going to be that kickback, it's going to be, right? It's like, okay, the air and fire, they work crazy together. And it's crazy just to get the titty bit because I don't know if you heard that knock. I'm going to get the titty bit. How they met was my mom was going after actually his friend, right? But then he intervened, I guess, in his way of intervening. And she was like, okay, all right, I guess you applying the pressure. Your friend is not. I guess we'll go from here, I guess. And that's how they started dating. And that's how little me was born. And another part of that, I wasn't even really wanted, which is understandable because you already had kids at the time. And I always say, if I wasn't wanted, guess what? I wouldn't be here. So that can be significant for some too, having a life journey. She was literally outside of the abortion clinic, and I'm all for abortions, baby. That's not my but she was right outside the abortion clinic, and she said to somebody, or like something happened, or she was on her way, and something happened, and she couldn't make it, and she tried a few times. And then I was a preemie baby, so I was also born early. And so the reason why I'm saying this, it's this energy, right, of your parents, right? Their signs, this Libra energy of wanting to smile and weighing out all options, realizing, can I really do this? Can this really happen? And the Sag energy of my father being a deadbeat. But also having so many lives and so many different kids, being a Rolling Stone, being in prison, and that's the first time I actually met that nigga. It's like things of that sort. It's like, okay, we're noticing like the dynamic, and not saying that all Sagittarius is their deadbeats, and not saying all Libras want abortions, but it adds into the storyline of who they are, right? So to pull that in, if you stay for the titty bit before you selected your own reading, shouts out to you because it can be again a channel message and you never know what's gonna come. So it's this energy with my mom being a Libra, right? This balance, this harmonious Venus energy of weighing out all things, seeing, okay, what can actually really happen? Can this really, like, I'm also looking at this nigga, and I literally have a younger sibling. It's only like 2, 3 years younger than me. So you see where that relationship went. And the first time I met him, I was like 5. So you also see where that relationship went. Like, and he was in prison. And he was already in there. You get in the map, like, niggas just out here doing shit, okay? Um, so you pull into my mom to see where like, okay, I'm recognizing who you are. I already have 3 kids, right? I'm already taking in this understanding that I would possibly be a single mom to another kid. Would this be smart to actually allow that? I'm already thinking about not having this kid. And then now you ain't really got no choice because it's already too late. Once you pass the part of being newborn, and then boom, preemie. So it's like now I got this sick kid in the hospital and dealing with that. And so it's this balance of recognizing, and me and my mom, we do not talk. It's not for those reasons, but it's this way of what she's trying to build in a harmonious way, in a sense, and something telling her not. She didn't realize that maybe in this way, the reason that we don't get along is like I realize a lot of things, and if you know, you know. Like just go watch one of the self journey things. She's in there somewhere. But it's this balance of recognizing, okay, I see where you value relationships and where you truly try to take action into that, right? Where you truly put your focus, where you truly digest things, where you truly put your time and energy, right? Because growing up, it wasn't, we weren't the forethought, you know? Like, we weren't the forethought at all. That, like, as long as we had our basic necessities, that was it. That was the forethought to her. Like, you got your basic, but when it came to emotional availability and vulnerability and truly listening and truly defending and protecting, it lacked in a lot of areas because it's like, well, you got what you need to survive. And so it's this Libra energy of feeling like, okay, you have what you need to survive that should suffice as love. Because that's what it was equated to growing up. And it's like, I know. And so the reason why I'm saying this is because I also have Libra and Mars. Mars is about that action, that putting it forward, that discipline, that, okay, let's take charge. That's why in my Libra playlist, it's more so upbeat music, dancing music, right? But dancing also is sacral energy. I hope you are following along. Dancing is also sacral chakra energy, right? And so with this sacral chakra energy, I'm healing mother wounds at this moment in time while giving myself energy, while raising the vibrational fire inside of myself that is also tapping into that fire Sag energy, right? By balancing out with this harmonious Libra Mars energy of what pulled her in the first place. Of like healing this energy, of releasing that. And so I'm also healing some wounds of valuing myself enough to choose that relationship. Because even during the time when I was talking to mom, I was always giving her patience and grace. I was like, I know how you were raised. I know how things, like I understand. I'm giving that patience and understanding to learn, to grow from these habits, to true take the action accountability. But the action accountability never came. It was just words. But I seen her taking action accountability with certain relationships in her life. And I'm like, you're doing the same thing that I'm trying to give you grace for, that I'm trying to give you understanding for. You're acting in the same way, popping off, getting something like treating me in the same way that I'm trying to give you understanding and grace for, that you so called apologize for, to take action for. That's not how that works. And so with me, it's like where these things, it's this realizing that Libra Mars energy, that balance energy of truly taking that in and what that means and how it is necessary. Like, okay, I can get into our other chart because we do have some of the same placements, which is hilarious, which could be the case for you if you're able to. Um, but it's very much similar. It's like, okay, because now it's like recognizing where I balance my words and determination in those relationships for those aspects in my life, in my career, and how I digest it in my healing. Am I truly taking that process, or am I feeding off of that? Then you get into the person that wasn't there, right? The Sag energy, the explorer energy. This I am a learner, I am a student, but I'm also a teacher. But the way Sagittarius learn is by experiences, right? Continuously doing that. But it's like this sense of he is getting into that man, he's gonna have a story too. Shay. Um getting into it of realizing like you have not actually truly matured in a mental way that's like, how did you survive for so long by not having an understanding and capacity of what true responsibility means? Because how do you have all these kids and then sometimes you're there in their lives and sometimes you're not, and sometimes you need support, and then you wonder why when situations happen and you truly need support, nobody's there. It's like because you don't even know what support is. So it's like this expectation of something because of what you think you're given because you're just there or you're not there, and you feel like that's enough to to suffice. It's like when you actually truly need the help, that support, that what you feel like a relationship is like you're leading with the title of what it is and not the actual time and energy and effort you put into those experiences. Just because you're gathering experiences and memories and collecting things is not going to mean from nothing if you don't put the time and energy into it. It's like essentially having a child and then wanting something from the child later that's going to take time and energy. What sense would that make? Trying to build this false connection, what sense would that make when you know you're not going to really put in the responsibility and the time? You just want an experience. And so we'll pull it into that Sag energy, which I do have a Sag rising, which is that persona. It's like recognizing I'm not just going to get myself into experiences just because. Just to say I was involved, just to say I was there, just to say that it happened, just to say that it was a process. Just no, just to say I did it, just to say I can, just to say I could. And then it's just like, no, because now you get into these situations where you're just like doing it for the plot, not realizing the plot is your life, right? And so saying this in, because even when I did visit him a little while later, when I was a little bit older, the nigga was barely present mentally or emotionally. I'm just like, what are you here for? What are you here for? And so, as I said, to pull into that Sag rising energy, I think, Sag rising energy and that Sag and Pluto energy of being like, I'm not gonna be, Sag and exactly, bitch, exactly, Sag and Pluto in the fucking first house. So pulling into this energy of recognizing this far off energy that I can possibly pull from with the Pluto being this, but no. Pulling into recognizing, no, these experiences are, plus Pluto's also knowledge, that understanding, that truth. So it's relaying that. So I told all this, and if you stayed, you stayed. If you got the message, you got the message. If you didn't, you didn't. You ain't gonna even get this. But it's this sense of understanding. I'm like, let me. It's bleached. But I keep like anywho now anyway, moving back and forth, moving on. But I'm telling these stories. It's like I look at both of the lives and how those major. And again, the sun is not the only one. We can just say word charts. We're just gonna take it from the basic. We gonna keep it basic. We like to keep it simple. Once we can get into the extra fun stuff on the research time. Okay, Ashe. So it's pulling into this understanding of recognizing, okay, if this is how my mother acted, okay, this is, and I have those placements. And then even if you don't have those placements, right, it's pulling from this understanding that you can pull for those placements energy because it's encoded in you in some way because they are your parents. And so it's like I can use that to my advantage. This Libra, Venus energy, balance energy, this beauty energy, this social energy, harmonious gathering energy, this protector, fight energy to make sure that there is justice, right? And then I can pull into the Sag energy, this fire energy, this I'm learning, I'm gathering, I'm making mistakes and being okay with making mistakes, and I'm shifting and I'm happy to be like, I don't know, and I'm happy to teach, and I'm happy to explore myself and others in social environments, and I'm here to express and to lead in a way that is not normal. I can take from those the luck of Jupiter, okay, the transparency of Venus, and pull it. And so that's what essentially this reading is about. And that's why I wanted to kind of get into it before I got into it, because that's what I mean by pull from those energies. Taking a recognition of how they played a part in each other's lives. And we know the story of how your parents got together and how the story played a part in your life. And it always leads you back to say your parents' ancestors are not your ancestors. Like what I mean by that is you got their ancestors and they got yours, but who you are was here before anything was here, right? So who they got, yeah, you may got them too, but they also don't got who you got. Even if you just be like, well, they obviously got who they got because I also got theirs and they don't have theirs. But it's like I got all theirs. Or you can be like, I got what they got and I got who I got. Right? And so taking from these energies, what can you pull from it? So what I mean by pick a card, I literally just have four separate piles, almost like this four separate energies, right? But not essentially four separate piles, but yes. So we're going to do earth, okay? That's going to be the first one. Then we'll do fire. I'm not going to do each individual, no. water, and air. So if your mother and or father, guardian, caretaker, shit. You get what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? And I don't want to leave people out that have been in the foster care system, but people that could have been your counselor, your case manager. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm not for leaving it out. We're going to get the message that needs to get got. But if you know, you know. So we're going to go ahead and start off with this fire energy. It's funny. I wrote it in that way, but spirit is hilarious. We're going to start off with Earth at 1526. Okay? Let's go ahead and start off with some Earth. What are we feeling, spirit? That's what I'm feeling for you guys. Let's see what message. Earth is Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. Okay? Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. What the fuck? Sorry, there are cards in here that are not supposed to be in here. I just seen you. What the fuck? Here you are. What the hell? We got expect powerful change, new moon eclipse. That can be significant. Some of you could have been born during the eclipse season. Some of you could have been born during new moon. I almost said new moon season. But yeah, that could be significant as well. But this is for your mother and her father. Okay, that is an earth sign. Again, that is Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. Let's see what energies you have within you that you share as well. What blessings, what energies, what complexities you share within them and you. Oh, shit. Ooh. We got 8 of Cups, emotional withdrawal. Okay? You could be very, I'm hearing uptight with your emotions. I'm not sure what that means. But very like, yeah, they keep saying uptight with your emotions, upstick with your emotions. But also with this emotional withdrawal, the 8 of Cups is about always leaving old ways. So you could be very quick to leave things very quickly, like I'm not dealing with the bullshit. And so you feel like if you leave the situation or you drop the thing or you release, you cut things off, or you distance yourself, like I said, that's also going to sever the emotional feeling that you're feeling. So your parents could have did that, like, hey, we already dealt with the situation, but you never were actually able to deal with the emotions of a situation. And so they cause you to emotionally withdraw, not be as vulnerable, not be as open, not be as receptive to receiving help. I'm hearing love or support or even condolences. It's just certain things, yeah, that you were expecting, yeah, that you weren't getting in its sense in itself. Ashe. Yeah, a lot with this is what they mean by kind of emotionally strict. Is like because we have emotional loss, which is 5 of Cups, and then we have 8 of Swords. Excuse me, yeah, which is mental energy trapped in fear. A lot of feeling like you couldn't really truly express yourself. Like it had to be set up in a certain way. It had to be set up in a certain mode and a certain energy. And so that really did cause you emotional withdrawal. And so it feels like it also reminds me of I watched a video. You may not be one, so I'm not calling you one, okay? Which is nothing wrong with that. But Ashe, if you get it, I'm gonna finish. Ashe. I was watching a video of a sociopath, and she was a psychiatrist, and I was like, "Oh, this is interesting. I love this." But you should really go watch it. Just look up psychiatrist that's also sociopath. It should pop up. It's a woman. Really good. But it's essentially she was like, It's almost like she was like, I know what emotion I should feel in this moment, but I don't know how to express it in a way that feels socially acceptable. I am summarizing because I've been watching a little bit, but that isn't socially acceptable, or that isn't like she was like, I just see it for what it is. I see the situation, and it's kind of like that's how you guys may process things now, and you're probably like, I don't know how to react in this situation. Like I said, even to major things, to love, to support, to accomplishments, to dreams. It just feels like it wasn't really that acknowledged or taken seriously, or just like, well, yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. So it just, you weren't able to. It's almost like you were a little it's like you were a little whimsical child, is what I'm hearing. Like a whimsical, like out there child. They're like, it's like two parents like birthed the creative, and they didn't know how to do with the creative. So it's like, this is how creative shit. I don't know. It's just kind of the sit. So you kind of feel trapped in fear, and so you're always pushing the mold. And so it's like you don't know what truly is possibly successful, truly is abundant, truly is stable. Or truly is emotional. Maybe I'm hearing some of you like overshare. Like maybe if I'm oversharing or overdoing, that it help to balance things out as well, because it feels kind of like, yeah, a lot of emotional distance and things of that sort. We do have a major arcana coming in here, which is the harmony card, which is the lover's card, as well as the four of swords, which is rest and rejuvenation. So this is letting me know that what you also have taken in is their capability to, again, with this pullback, truly come into center itself. And so what you are trying to do now is, yes, pull back and come into center itself, calm my mind, calm my body, but also to still be vocally expressive, because the Lover's card is also Gemini energy, communication, that Mercury energy, not just talking communication, communication, period, right? Being able to be vocally expressive and share emotions and situations and accomplishments and progress and sadness and all these things with other people, and not feel like it has to be in a certain way, or it just has to look good on paper. I don't know. It's just kind of that energy. If you're getting what I'm saying, you got what I'm saying, you got it. Mm. Yeah. So you're trying to balance that harmony, pulling into that here. Let's see if we can get some final cards for them, Spirit, in regards to their parental energies within and around them. And for some of you, I'm hearing for some of you, whether you do talk to them or know them, it's in a sense of like, this is something, like I said, you're going to have to work on. It's when you pull back, you're going to realize this four of swords, when you really get this mental understanding of, I'm worthy of all that I am, when I start to be me. When I start to truly be me, not somebody that my parents want to be, especially with this 8-8 coming in, because 8-8 is also still about infinite possibilities, infinite beginnings, infinite endings, because you don't know what is beginning or ending. So when it says trapped in fears, like this restrictive, like I said, emotion, or the energy, is kind of like the sense of like, when you emotionally withdraw, are you doing it for reflection? Are you doing it for protection? Or are you doing it out of fear? Out of feeling like that. So tap into more. We got the awareness card coming in here for you. Ashe. Let me double check what this is. Sometimes that awareness card can get in my eyes. Let me double check real quick before I say what it is. It is, okay, it's a magician. Ashe. Final cards you got, I will say, yeah, they can make some shit shake. They can make some shit happen, right? That's kind of how you, that's why you don't know how to really gauge. Oh, that felt good. Gauge what is or isn't an accomplishment, what isn't worthy, how to operate and things of that sort. But we have the magician card with the three of swords, heart of the loss. A lot of mental things that you are going to be releasing, which is hilarious. Awareness is highlighting this temple. So once you start opening up your sense and understanding that, yes, this is the complexity of it, but if it is this, a lot of it was in nature. Rest and rejuvenation, literally earth sign energy. So getting grounded, getting rooted, taking that energy from this earth sign energy and tapping into that awareness, still being within self, still being able to recognize that. And I like the three of swords, especially when it's upright, because heartache and loss is essentially letting me know that you are now dealing with emotions. You're not trying to run from them. You're not trying to be like, well, that was it. You're not trying to suppress them. It's like you're actually going to be experiencing these emotions and knowing how to operate with them and being aware of how to express it, accepting that support, accepting that love, because now you're grounded and rooted in yourself. Pulling from that earth energy and recognizing, yes, I can have this. And now I know how to communicate it so well that my emotions now have a place to be, right? So that is what you are gathering and taking, earth sign, baby, parent babies. You get it. You got it. You're good. Okay. Let's go ahead and get into pile 2510 for our fire. Sorry, I made a makeshift kind of candle thing going on here. It's crazy because I gotta fix it because the fire was going down, and we had our fire signs here dealing with some things. So maybe it could have been in your relationship in life, fires coming going down. I don't feel like this deck for y'all. I don't feel this deck for them, spirit. I don't feel this deck for y'all. Yeah. It feels like the fire could have been going down for you guys essentially, and what's happening, how it's shifting, or what it's moving. Let's see what's going on. I'm hearing, sorry if this did happen, that maybe a parent did recently die. So I do apologize because I am hearing that, like maybe they were the light of the family. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely somebody that may have passed. I do apologize. Yeah, I'm so sorry because they're saying they miss you too. I mean, for some they just miss you. Mhm. Because with this I miss you. It's like somebody. A lot to do with somebody that may have passed. Um, it's like before you were born. Some of you, or like when you were really little, yeah, before you were born or as you were born. Um, I say, not for all, obviously, but fire signs are Sag, Aries, and Leo. This is for mother and father. Okay, um, let's get into this. Mm. You immediately have on both sides, right? Closed mouths don't get fed. And then on the other side, we have Pinterest. So this is letting me know, like, you have a lot of aspirations and things that you want your life to look like, be, feel. It could even be like foods that you want to cook. And it's just like closed mouths don't get fed. So it's like, how is this going to be a known opportunity if you don't start trying to pull it off of the vision board, pull it off of there? It's like, okay, you see this, next time, and when you go to the grocery store, pull up Pinterest. Not keep going to that. It could be a sign. The next time we're going shopping, it's like, okay, let me go ahead and actually pull it up and have it side by side. So it's something where it's like closed mouths don't get fed, but you're not even like putting in the action for it, right? It's like people say, put the stuff in your cart. Just put the stuff in your cart. You'll never get it if it's never in your cart because you're always going to make an excuse for it. But if it's there, it's like you're already one step away. And so it's like you're not even allowing the opportunity in for that to possibly happen for you where you are allowed to have that. So it's not only with you possibly asking for support, it's like you being open to the possibility. So don't just put stuff on Pinterest. Start saying things. I like this is what I want to do. This is how I want to start expressing that. People say things and it's kind of in the line of what you want. Like this is kind of what I want. Like this is kind of what I want to do. I hope this is making sense. Okay, we got birds coming in here. I'm hearing bird watching immediately. I heard bird watching immediately. Somebody's definitely watching over you. Yeah, it's almost like you could be seeing a whole lot more birds around you or energy around you. So it definitely feels like somebody is definitely watching you. And it's like they're sending, no, yeah, like blue jays, bluebirds. Yeah, butterflies. That's crazy. But the way that this is operating for you in your life with this parental energy, it feels like, I don't know, it feels like for some it was a lot of like half. I'm gonna just say it exactly as they're saying it. They was trying to half-ass dreams or half-ass accomplishments, kind of growing up, or things that you probably seen like your parents start a lot of things and not really like complete it out, or they were okay with you starting things and not completing it, or maybe no, or maybe you weren't able to possibly get certain things because they were staring at this card that says their oppression is your oppression, and it says don't be so in being a victim that you victimize others. I feel like that's kind of the lifestyle that you were living. It's like they could have been like those parents that were like, I have to go through this, you have to go through this, or that's not how it rolls because that's not how we do it, or it's kind of like that energy. So it was kind of very oppressive, or it could have just been, I want you to do this. Now I'm saying, if you know anything about Steven Universe, Sadie's mom, where she felt oppressed, like she just mentioned one thing and then boom, it's done, boom, it's done. And so, which is hilarious because that's what they all say about manifestations. And it's like, she was like, she mentioned, she liked to swim and now she's in a swim team. She mentioned she liked, baseball and now she's in Little League and, things of that sort. And so it's like anything like you, and so now you just stop opening your mouth, period. And so in the sense of like, for some, it's like you weren't able to get those things. So it's like, I didn't want to open my mouth. Like, that's kind of how I was raised, where it's like, I knew during Christmas not to ask for anything that was more than a certain amount of dollars. It's like, let's not go wild here. There's a whole fuck ton of us. So it's like this sense of the way that their oppression is, or just the way that they think they didn't allow you to be freely expressive or open, or maybe they were a little bit too open and expressive. I'm hearing for something like maybe pull back a little bit. But that kind of led into this closed mouthness where you feel like, okay, either I need to be quiet because they're going to overly invest in this and I'm not sure. And now I feel like I have to be invested in this. And so with this Pinterest, it's almost like you're hiding your true desires, what you truly want. And it doesn't actually have to be Pinterest. It can be a vision board. It can be something that you write in your journals. It can be what you daydream about. It can be, things of that sort. It's like, this is what I truly want. But it's like, if I say something, it's like, do I truly want that? And so now it's like, what you truly want, you're not sure if you want it. Well, I'm actually a lot of Steven Universe. Now I'm here, what I want. And that's when Connie was glitching because it wasn't the real Connie. It was a Connie because Steven Universe is like, hurry up, come out, I want to see you, right? And so she wasn't ready yet. The real Connie was not ready yet. There's gonna be messages in here. Crap, we're going with it. The real Connie was not ready yet. She was still getting dressed. So the fake Connie comes out. But the way that it works in his world, are we paying attention? Are we catching on? Are we getting it? The way it works in Steven's world, what he says goes. So he's asking the real Connie, well, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? She's like, well, I don't know. What do you want to do? And he goes, well, didn't she say this? She was like, well, okay, let's go do this. And he's catching on like, okay, well, what do you want to do? Like, I know, like, this is your idea because it was literally the real Connie's idea. He just brought her into the room to create her idea. Again, you're the child. They just brought him into the room and created, but it's still going to have to be what the child wants, right? So to fast track, the fake Connie's like, what I want, because she's like, what do I want? I'm not real. I've been following along you this entire time. I came from your creation, right? I don't know what I want. She kind of winds up fighting the real Connie, this and that, and she kind of goes a little crazy and spazzes the fuck out, which is hilarious because at the bottom we have Rico Nasty, just Rico Nasty, no particular fucking song. If you know Rico Nasty music, you know it's that motherfucking music that make you wanna. Thank God you didn't have to smack a bitch today, because on this side we got Leave Me Alone, and I think of that song, Leave Me Alone, right? But just really just leave me alone. And so it's this energy of pulling into this recognition of like, you have to be okay with being yourself. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But you also have to be vocal about where you are feeling oppressive, where you are feeling kind of bogged down, or you're living up to a certain expectation. And I feel like that's kind of for some what it was. or you were expected to already know something, and so now that is the expectation. But whatever it is causing you to not really open your mouth for opportunities, no matter how it was raised. But it's a sense of oppressing yourself based off of their own oppression that they have for themselves, right? So turn on that Rico Nasty, get motherfucking crunk. Perfume, start smelling yourself coming in here. Yes, journaling. I expect miracles and I attract miracles. No, that is the end. Yes, I expect miracles, I attract miracles, I create miracles, and I accept miracles in journaling. So, yeah, you've been really thinking about this. And I feel like for some, those that are on the other side, they could have had some of this oppressive energy. And um, so that's why they're saying they miss you, because I feel like in some ways you're kind of like dealing with kind of that back and forth with yourself, which is a-okay. Work it through, right? But they are watching and watching and waiting patiently. Yeah. I see it again. Okay. Anyways, they could have loved singing randomly, spurting off. Like I said, for some of you, I feel like it's also because I feel like maybe they were a little, ooh, ringing in my ears. Maybe they're a little bit too loud, too expressive. And so you weren't able to truly be yourself. You didn't have your own shine because you were possibly always compared to them in some sort of way, or yeah, and that's why I have to be like, the light, something going on with the light. Let me fix the light. Like the light seems to be going out, and I feel like it's kind of dimming your light or feeling like it isn't shining bright, and you gotta realize it is, baby. Okay? It is. It most definitely is. So start smelling yourself. Start following those streams. Start putting it out there. And no matter what anyone says or things of that sort, allow it. And maybe for you that feel like your parents get way too involved and you're like, okay, I don't, tell them once it's done and just invite them to the events or things and that. You got to start learning how to do things on your own without relying on that support then. You know? All right. With that being said and done, that was you number 2. Now it's going to number 3, not number 1. I don't have to say number 1. Number 1 can be important for you. Number 2, which is 53. 36, 53, my waters, my Scorpios, my my Pisces, and my Cancerians. Yes, yes, yes. Let's go ahead and see what Spirit has for you today in regards to the parent energy that you're pulling. Okay? Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm. Thank goodness it was getting a little hot in here. I feel like y'all... I'm hearing like front the bunt. I don't know if anybody knows what that means. I feel like they front and bunt. Like I feel like maybe your parents were... I'm hearing and feeling some two-faced energy, just a tinge. Again, your parents could be Scorpio, Pisces, or a Cancer, mother or father. It's kind of like this. You don't even act like that around them, or why? It's kind of like why are you still around these people energy when you know you don't like them or you know they don't like you? So that kind of made you, I'm hearing for some, kind of resent your parents a little bit. Again, not for all. Um, yeah. I'm hearing for others, it was almost like, I don't know. It's almost like that. Like, I don't know type energy with this energy. It's like you never really knew with this type of energy. Let's see what's going on. What energy you pulled. Yeah, that's probably why. A lot of like healing needing to happen in your family. I gotta heal in order to forgive me. Somebody with the letter initial E could be significant. Aaron, Erica, earlobe. I'm seeing like pulling somebody getting pulled on the earlobe a lot. I gotta heal in order to forgive me or we. a lot. Yeah, like I said, why are you around people that you know don't like you or that you don't like? And it feels like that's kind of maybe what they thought was truly forgiving, and so now they could have put a lot possibly on titles. Like, that's your mom, that's your dad, that's your aunt, that's your uncle, that's your. I don't know. I feel like they don't know how to allow themselves to be loved. And so they loved you in the way that they wanted to be loved and not in the way that you were truly wanting and needing that love. And instead of them being bold and courageous and adult enough in your eyes, in your mind, I feel like you were like, huh, no. And now so they're pressuring you and loving you in a way that's just like, that's not how I want to be loved, or that's not how I want to be communicated to, that's not how I want to be treated, that's not how, and for others it's this energy and attitude where you just really didn't know with them. Like, at some points I'm hearing some of you was like, "Are you my sister?" Like, it just kind of gave this weird energy where maybe they were your friend, maybe they were your mother, and like obviously you knew that they were your mother, but it's like this weird energy of like, I don't know where to place you in my life because I don't even think you know where to place yourself in my life. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot needing to heal within selves in order to how to operate. Either it was clinging to people that they shouldn't have, and want to because of titles, or trying to make you do the same and all that. I don't know. Or just you just didn't know with them. And so it was just a lot of confusion in the home and in the house happening and shifting and moving things um, in a way where you're just like, I don't think this is gonna work out. Is what I'm hearing. But we have a new friend. They could have had a lot of new friends, a lot of new people. Um, just a lot of like I'm hearing like a lot of new friend energy around him and around you. Yeah. My protection is shown by my happiness. What they have this very lively spirit. They can be very intimate with people. They can be very open, but it's like this very lively spirit, and that allows for them a lot of connections. And so that's why you're pulling from this. I need to heal in order to forgive me or we, because you're recognizing they're able to do that in their own way, in their own nurturing way, their own caring way, their own understanding way, their own hosting, whatever it is that they're doing, their own talkative way. They still were able to bring people together that they didn't like or that they knew didn't like them. But now you're recognizing that the happiness that they were still able to exude, or just the joy, even if you was like, they being fake as fuck, or like, I don't know who you are, but it was like, no matter what it is, at their core, it was this center of being like, I'm gonna still like show bits of me that are happy, that are here. And I feel like that also, I shit. Yeah, it caused a little bit of struggle to work on being logical for them and actually looking at it like, yeah, you're happy and yeah, you'll be fine and this and that, but what are you really truly keeping around you that's make you feel like you have to protect yourself in the first place? Again, pulling back into that energy. But with this new friend, you're recognizing how to balance those things out, how to heal yourself and release and let go. And so you're pulling that in a way that maybe they never have or that they're learning. Yeah, we got children, and childlike. Yeah, a lot of like type energy. A lot of, yeah. Some of you they wanted to be your friend. I don't know. Yeah, I'm hearing they got diagnosed late. Did I take my meds today? I feel like they got diagnosed late for that confusion energy. Like, it was like, oh, I kind of knew something was off. I'm glad it finally, yeah, yeah. We got because I'm pissed and you need to know about it. Okay. I feel like once you come to this point of recognizing for yourself from possibly that energy of how it was possibly raised in those possible settings, it's a sense of recognizing you can be vocal and lying until you don't like them or you don't fuck with them, no matter who it is, no matter what's going on, because that's gonna be your actual happiness. It is protecting your peace by not allowing people to disturb it. And so with this new friend, I'm hearing you may have been contemplating a situation with someone and you reflecting on how relationships were like, do I want to be like my mom or my dad when they were just fake as fuck, or still doing events or talking to them and making me do, like, do I want to be like that, or do I want to be this confusion energy around people where they're not really sure, but they're like, I guess they're not doing anything wrong or bad, I'm just don't know where I stand in their life, and they also don't really want to have a. So it's this energy of recognizing, and you're recognizing, okay, where am I shifting that movement to? And that's going to also allow you to heal. Because it's like you're pissed at something, you're going to let somebody know. And with this new friend, it can be an actual new friend because the old one was like, like I like the way that you were before, or it can be a new friend because they changed their energy, they changed their attitude based off of that. But this children and child, like I'm hearing some of you do want kids, or you are currently pregnant, and you don't want to kind of act in the same way that your parents did, or your parent did. And so I'm hearing, I'm hearing go to the hospital. Um, that's why let me make sure you kind of, because if it's in them, it might be running your family. This is kind of what that reading is in itself. So let's get some final cards. As soon as I said that, I'll show. Yeah, we got unforgettable. They have some unforgettable energy, and it's almost like they tried to use it against other people. And that's why on top of children, and child, like, yeah, this very unforgettable energy. It's almost like I'm seeing the bootleg. If you know what bootleg is, it's like the bootleg movie, and then that one person goes across the street. It's almost like the unforgettable thing. It's like, okay, well, that happened. That happened. I remember exactly which movie it was. SpongeBob SquarePants. Shots up. We have that doesn't apply to me. Not sorry. Yeah, and that's right over here in this energy. Unforgettable that doesn't apply to me. Not like you recognize like my energy is potent, but I'm not gonna just use it willy nilly, right? And you possibly grew up in this energy where it was used a little bit willy nilly and not really in direct energy or even being direct, right? So you don't need to stay around that. Truly be at peace. Yeah, we got qualities to not outweigh character, relay facts. You're recognizing you may grow up with them being extra emotional and feeling like the emotions and their feelings and their energy was enough or was the only thing. And you're like, no, there's a balance. There has to be a balance of both because obviously I'm going to have feelings and emotions in a situation. I'm human, but also let's look at the situation on a playing field that is actually like, okay, what do I do? How does this operate? How does this shift? How do I manage this? How do I work with this? So you can also have meds. Did you take your meds today? I gotta take my vitamins. I'm on my last bit of my vitamins. So, but protect yourself. Protect yourself. You don't need to do what they do. You don't need to hang out with who they need to hang out with. You don't need to, yeah. That's what they wanted to do. Yeah. Spirit, keep them away from me. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, whoever, whatever it is, you don't need to be around them. So the qualities that you have that are magnetizing like your parents, you're taking it with you. Okay? Let's get into our final signs here. Air signs. How are you? Actually, that'll be 11, huh? Air signs, how are you? Ooh. That would be Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini, okay? These are some of the qualities essentially that you have taken or gathered, or kind of the way that you were raised and things of that sort. I'm trying to do the recap because I know some people may not have watched the beginning. So, yes. Let's go ahead and pull your cards for you. I'm hearing shady side eye. Shady side eye. I should turn the air down just a little bit more. I'm a little bit hot, but it was okay. Okay, Spirit, what you got for them? As soon as I asked what you got for them, got the Seven of Swords and the Justice card, which is Libra energy, and swords are air energy. Okay, so this is already letting me know. I mean, maybe your household was ran with like almost an ultimate sense of justice, right? Maybe it's kind of like what I say goes type of environment, or what is that one song? According to plan, according to plan, according to plan. Everything must go straight according to plan. I do not remember where that is from. Oh my gosh, that is going to. But if you know, please let me know in the comments. Oh my god, that's gonna in my brain. But that's all I'm hearing. According to plan, according to, and it just it was almost like things were trying to put in a way almost like show tuning, but it was like you're also telling me everything has to go according to plan. So it's almost gonna be like this very strict energy. Like I said, this reigning sense of justice energy. It's funny, a lot of air energy. We literally have Knight of Swords, Gemini energy. Okay. It could have been, like I said, this energy where it's like it's shining. Because Knight of Swords is very impulsive, very brash, very brave. It's like, huh, here, take it there. Let's do what we gotta do. Mm-hmm. You got it? Yep. So it's like, oh, you're trying to do it in a way where it seems fun. It's almost like complete, like, let's learn the fundamentals of math. And it's like they're trying to make it sound fun and exciting, but it isn't fun and exciting. And I'm hearing it could have been a lot of disappointing times, a lot of bad news, a lot of letdowns, and they're trying to frame it in a different way, or is there possibly some guilt tripping happening? Um, and it's like the communication sounded really good, or it sounded very clear, but it's like the way that you were feeling, possibly emotionally or even spiritually. I'm hearing, okay, spiritual file. Spiritually, I'm hearing in this sense, and how they, I don't know, I heard that it was like a breath in my body. Oh, I say, yeah, a lot of like felt like hot air sometimes. In a sense, and it's like I know that you were meant before you know right, but it's just like in some things in our life, it just wasn't framed in a way that was actually accustomed to your brain and your energy. Yeah, but this Gemini energy, this communication, it could have just been like, we're gonna say yeah, but it ain't that bad. Like it ain't. Come on now. Ain't this what you wanted? Or I figured you would like this better. Or I'm sorry I couldn't do it. I know I said I would. Or yeah, yeah. I'm gonna take it. Yeah, I'm gonna take all these. I'll shave. And this one too. Ooh, ooh. Okay, we have the Five of Pentacles. Okay, this came out in the reverse. This is letting me know. I just laughed because it was just, it lines up. But it's coming in reverse right under the Knight of Wands. Sorry, the Knight of Swords. So it's letting me know, like, it could have been, like, it's almost like I said, it's like trying to flip the script, make it seem one way, but it's really another, you know? I'm trying to, oh my God, Spirit. It's like those little one games where like the mom is freezing in the cold, and it's like, but they're also framing it like it's a game. And so they're trying to make it seem like it's a lot of, and like I said, a lot of letdowns. And I know I keep saying the same thing, but it's like I'm hearing for some of you, it's like you're not getting it. Stop going off of people's words. Stop going off of what they're going to say, because in that moment in time, it invokes the feeling in you. But then that feeling, you're running off of hot fumes. Start allowing yourself to take what somebody says and not consume it. Take it, hold it in your hand. So that way, if they don't show up with those follow through actions, you're recognizing, okay, this is the Five Pentacles. I'm not going to be losing my money, time, or energy over this. And I feel like that possibly could have happened a lot growing up, where you're like expecting them to show up for the game and they don't, they make an excuse. So you're expecting a certain gift or just certain clothes, and then they give you something else, or they try. It's like they're trying to switch something to make you be like, don't look at my actions, don't look at my actions, don't look at what's happening. And in some ways, they're like very charismatic. Yeah, very charismatic and things of that sort. And so you're trying to find a way to do that, but also line up with action. So you could also be very good with your words, poetry, writing, singing, things of that sort as well. I thought I cut myself. You have a lot of aces. Like I said, with this Five of Pentacles and it's in reverse, you're done with that. We have the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, new beginnings for start. This can be a new job, a new career, a new pathway that is opening up for you here. And so again, you could be around people, like I said, they're very charismatic. They always had an opportunity, they always had a chance, they were always able to do this. It's like, how did you come around that? How did you meet somebody? How did you know how to do that? And it's like they always had this knowledge, this information, maybe really always, like I said, knew something or knew somebody. It's like they were very well connected in certain ways, in certain aspects. Like, I don't know you did that. I don't know you were that well traveled or set things up like that. And so I say, like I said, a lot with this communication, and it ain't just because you're air. It's just that's just how they operated. And it's like, because that's coming up. But with the Ace of Pentacles, it's like, okay, with these new starts and beginnings, it's because you got yourself there. But remember your need. If you're like, okay, they don't really follow, you are going to follow through. And you have to recognize that you're going to follow through. So with this Ace of Pentacles, which is also about a new beginning for those things, Pentacles is earth energy, action energy, putting in the time. So you have put in the time and the energy. Recognize that you're not just saying sweet words, or that you're going to disappoint, or you're not going to give somebody what they're expecting, or you're going to make excuses, and you're going to guilt trip. You're not going to do any of that. And not saying that was everybody's parents, but we're looking at the undershadow of everything, Ashe, and getting into it, right? Because like I said, they're very charismatic still. They're very social. They have friends. They have opportunities. So again, taking it all in, because you also have the Ace of Wands, right? This is action within the body. What did I say? And those are right on the side of each other. Like I said, you have this way of recognizing things are lining up. What you say you're going to do. Sometimes you do it and then say you did it. Just like, right? And so you're recognizing that. And not saying that they didn't come through all the time and things of that sort. Ashe, it's this sense of recognizing, like, I'm realizing, and I used to tell people, and I still tell people, I do not make promises I cannot keep or cannot communicate, or why I cannot keep them, because I don't really care to make promises at all unless I already know it's going to be done or it's already halfway done. And I said that as my voice was going through whatever it was going through, because maybe you're going to hear this message, right? Because that's how we got the Knight of Swords. Like I said, they are very communicative, very open, very expressive. And so that is allowed for you because, like I said, they're very direct with their energy. This is King of Swords, Aquarius energy. Very direct. I'm going to say it blunt. I'm going to say it as truthful as it needs to be said, and it's going to get there. But with the Gemini energy, it's going to be but you recognize that I can still do that in a way that is commanding, that is proud, that is respectful, and that's clear. I don't need to do that way because Aquarius energy is also humanitarian energy, social energy. Like I said, they're very pulling into that. You have a lot of Aquarius energy coming in here. We got the star, renewed hope and energy within yourself, right? And that's right under the Ace of Pentacles. And you're recognizing, I am the star. I am. And they're the star of their own life and how they operate, and you could have realized that. They could have also instilled a lot of like hope in you, and that's also why you possibly got a lot of irritation and disappointment, like because sometimes you could have encountered someone who's like, "What the fuck?" or things of that, but it's like they still instill this hope, this energy inside of you that can't be, dissuaded, right? Because you know that when the time comes, if you're like, okay, they can take that action, because we have the Six of Cups coming in here right under the Ace of Wands. Like I said, you're allowing this to recognize how the past worked and how it shaped your life and your energy, and using that. I can take my emotions, I can gather that and allow it to also line up and allow it to be structured and sound in a way that I'm not just saying, hey, or look over here, or I'm not tricking you with my words. I'm saying exactly what's needed, and you hit people right here in the heart. That was so corny. What you do, make sure that you don't get bored. It may not look to you as fun as how they were doing things. They were doing things a little chaotic. Yeah, okay. So learn how to have your own fun, your own energy, and that's kind of where the Six of Cups and the Star comes in. Is like you can continuously do that. It's not just in finances and career and abundance and housing, and it's also in your energy, your body, your mind, and your tone and set. So with the Four of Cups, don't feel bad that you have to shift things up, because you're still taking from these qualities that are very, very powerful. Where you putting it? Okay, so I love this for you. I love this for you. Blessed and abundant money, opportunities, careers. Yeah, just sounds like you speak it is done, and it's done because it's spoken. Ashe. Ashe. So that has been the reading. I love you. Love yourselves more. And until next time, maybe.